It is Rock Karma right here on your classic metal show with Get Me Out of This Shithole.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he says, get me out of this shithole.
Yeah, you just couldn't hear the shit part, right?
Right. Well, another guy who was basically saying, get me out of this shithole, is ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Billy Gibbons, get this now.
Okay.
He is 1/3 of ZZ Top.
Sure.
ZZ Top, a very successful band since the 70s. Still do pretty okay with their touring, and I don't know that they've released any new music in the recent past. If they have, I'm not aware of it.
They had, like 2-3 years ago, they had an album. I don't remember what it was called, but it had that song called Gotta Get Paid.
Okay.
Which is actually a really good song. If you like ZZ Top, you'd like that song a lot.
Sure. Well, they had their biggest success during the MTV days back in the early 80s with Eliminator. Sure. That was huge for them. And, their iconic Deuce Coupe, the Eliminator car. Sure. And, they had a big image back in the 80s. And, they were able to ride that wave for a good part of the 80s into the very early 90s. And then they sort of their popularity kind of waned a little bit.
Now, do you still listen to, if they put out a record, do you still go and listen to it, or?
Well, if it's brought to my attention, I would give it a listen, yes.
Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring something to your attention right now. The 3 albums that were after that are great. Rhythmine.
Well, like Antenna?
Antenna's one of them. Rhythmine is one of them.
I did go to that tour. I went to the Antenna tour.
Do you like the album?
Yeah, it's okay.
And then the most recent one, somebody just put in the chat room, La Futura. That's a great record. Okay. It sounds like old ZZ Top, but with good production. It doesn't sound like it was recorded in a fucking sandstorm.
Right.
But great album. So they're still cranking out good music when they decide to record.
Right. And again, we've talked about this a million times on the show. It just really isn't really a lucrative thing for any band to make a whole album anymore.
No, it doesn't make any sense to do that.
If a band does make a whole album, it's usually a work of passion for more than anything else.
Sure. They're creative guys. They need to create.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, Billy Gibbons was asked by an Australian promoter.
Tim James?
Could have been Tim James.
Okay.
To come over to Australia and do sort of a Q&A type thing.
Okay.
About cars.
All right.
And he was going to play a few songs in between. He was just going to kind of come out, maybe do sort of maybe like a little storytellers type thing.
Just him or the band?
Just him.
Okay, wow.
But, it was not supposed to be billed as a quote-unquote concert.
Sure, okay.
It was supposed to be billed as an intimate evening with Billy Gibbons doing a kind of Q&A about, hot rods. And maybe talk about some of the songs that inspired them to, be kind of like a hot rod and rock and roll band and that kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like that whole I'm not going to say it's like Henry Rollins poetry thing, but it was supposed to be just like a one-on-one thing.
It was like a hang more than a show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Australian promoter promoted it as if it was a concert.
Okay.
And the people who showed up to this thing were expecting a concert.
All right.
And it was not that. So, of course, the reaction from the people who attended was not pleasant.
They thought they were seeing ZZ Top, and instead they got Billy Gibbons in a fucking acoustic guitar on a stool.
Yeah, and talking about cars and shit.
Okay.
Billy Gibbons has canceled his disastrous Australian tour and dragged his sorry ass back to the USA, but maybe this wasn't all his fault. In fact, it isn't.
That's a hell of a headline.
Yeah. Gibbons' Australian shows have been a complete embarrassment, but only because of what the public was sold appears to be something totally different to what the ZZ Top legend thought he was meant to be doing.
Okay.
He wasn't so lucky in Newcastle. Fans started pelting him with whatever they had.
Damn.
During his third song.
Oh, my God.
He only got 2.5 songs into the set before basically reenacting the chicken wire scene from the Blues Brothers unintentionally.
Wow.
One final show in Brisbane on Friday has been canceled to avoid the reenactment of the Blues Brothers' Carrie Fisher scene.
Oh, my God.
The problem with this tour actually isn't Gibbons or the people who brought him out, but how it was sold to the public.
Mm-hmm.
It's understood that the potential buyers of the show, that is the venues, were sold a Q&A with a couple of songs. To that point, Gibbons gave the audience what he was told he was meant to give. The problem is that the whole debacle doesn't seem to be contractually documented too well. In a normal agreement, the venue would have a minimum time the artist had to agree to play written into the agreement.
Right.
From what we understand, this whole tour was a mates agreement and a couple of handshakes.
Oh, boy.
Gibbons is in Australia doing something he is passionate about, talking about hot rods. While the Q&A revolved around hot rods, that wasn't Billy's fault. That is what Billy was brought out for.
Okay, but how many people are we talking about? Is it like 500 people or like 50?
It doesn't really say. It just says that, you know, he played a theater type thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere between a Texas guitar legend jumping on a plane to travel to the other side of the world to talk about hot rods and strum a few chords, this thing became Billy's up close and personal shows consist of intimate life stories where kicking back with Billy as he plays and reflects on some of his favorite tunes and famous riffs. So it's kind of like a storyteller's type thing.
Sure.
And that's not what people were getting.
No.
To perform some of his greatest hits, Billy will be joined by an Australian band, the Billy TZs. Also accompany Billy will be his longtime friend, hot rod guru Jimmy Shine, as they share their rock and rod stories, rather.
Okay.
So 15 minutes on stage, yeah, we'll accept that as a ripoff. As for
He's only doing 15 minutes?
Well, that's what they're saying because he left early.
Oh, wow.
You know, he got on stage, people were booing, throwing shit.
So he said, fuck you.
Yeah, so it's 15 minutes and out. It's like, fuck that.
Fuck that. I'm too old for this shit.
Let the buyer beware. This doesn't end well for Billy Gibbons, and sadly it will have an impact on ZZ Top ever touring Australia again.
Wow, I'm sure they're heartbroken on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have any impact on him touring Australia again.
As ZZ Top.
Yeah, as ZZ Top. If they announce ZZ Top, it'd sell out. Come on.
Well, there's more to the story.
Okay.
Apparently, police were called to the gig after ZZ Top's guitarist walked off stage after 45 minutes.
The cops were called?
The police were called.
Because he walked off or because they were throwing shit?
No, because he walked off, I think. Let's find out.
All right.
The police were reportedly called to Billy Gibbons' show in Newcastle last night after fans became unruly due to the ZZ Top guitarist walking off the stage after 45 minutes.
Wow.
So it might have been because people were being disruptive.
Yeah.
Following this morning's news that the 68-year-old had axed the last show of his Australian tour after some disastrous reviews, it is alleged that Gibbons performed just 3 songs before calling an end to the gig, which was billed as a 2+ hour concert.
Holy shit.
A 2+ hour concert.
ZZ Top doesn't even do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
One fan alleged on Facebook today, people were just getting into the performance and the interaction when Mr. Gibbons abruptly departed the stage, leaving the audience stunned. It's like, I got to go comb the shit out of my beard.
Right.
If there was an issue, Mr. Gibbons had the microphone in his hand and all he had to do was tell us.
Right.
As Fairfax reporters say, the NSW police were called to the venue just before 10 p.m. due to unorderly behavior from the crowd, who reportedly became aggressive after Gibbons walked out, while glass was also thrown onto the stage.
Damn, glass.
Glass.
Wow.
It comes after Gibbons performed just 3 and 4 songs respectively at shows in Wollongong last Friday and Saturday, while others claimed he appeared disinterested while on stage.
Well, whether they liked the show or not, he still showed up.
So people might have been just getting a little unruly, and it's just like, I'm out of here.
Fuck you, pal.
I'm out of here.
I already got my down. I'm out. But they called the police on him for leaving?
Not on him, I guess, because of the fans were being disorderly.
Okay.
So, because they were getting a little rowdy.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm sure it wasn't a GNR St. Louis type riot, but, I'm sure fans were getting a little upset.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of bands that are not performing long sets, have you heard about this Vince Neil solo tour?
Well, you did tell me about it the other day when I was chatting at you.
Yeah, well, he played here last night at the Roxino, 10 minutes from my house. Let me tell you about that show. I didn't go. But I have the set list here. I did get the set list.
Where did you get the set list from?
Online.
Okay.
It's posted online.
All right.
Would you like to guess how many songs Vince played?
Well, I think you were telling me he was only doing 10 songs.
He was doing 10, but last night he gave the fans a little something.
Really? A little extra?
He played 11 songs.
Wow.
9 of which he sang.
Or sang a third of each.
Yeah, so three full songs worth of lyrics. Yeah, not 11 total fucking songs. Tell me that's not a fucking rip job.
And what were the cost of the tickets?
Probably 50 a ticket. I guess. I don't know, and it doesn't say on this page, but I'm sure it was in the 50s because I had a couple people ask me if I could hook them up. So I'm sure it wasn't a cheap ticket at all. But can you imagine $50 and you get 9 fucking songs plus the guys in Slaughter singing two covers? And from what I understand, Vince leaves the stage completely during the 2 covers.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Goes and takes a nap or something.
Well, who's singing in Slaughter? Dana Strum?
Blando, I guess. I guess Blando does the singing.
Okay.
I saw a video. There's video of it out there.
I mean, who comes to a Vince Neil show to hear the guitarist sing a couple of cover songs?
Well, obviously, that's what you do, isn't it?
Okay.
But there's some. Let me look up some YouTube real quick and see if I can find just some Vince Neil, because he is sounding really bad.
Oh, I know. I've seen some recent video. I mean, man. He wears, he wears the black jeans or whatever, and then he's got like a vest on, but his belly is so bloated that he can't close the vest even if he wanted to.
That's not a good look for him?
No.
Really?
He looks like a pregnant elephant up there. He does. He's got that big belly, man. It's just like, holy shit.
Oh, there's video from last night.
Oh, really?
Is this from... I'm looking right now. I don't know if this is actual performance video. It doesn't appear to be. What is this? Click the link in the description to see the full video. Wait a minute. There might... Try this. I'm going to send you a link.
Okay.
Because you can't hear anything I play, right? You didn't hear that playing?
No, I did not.
All right, here. Try this link.
Is it on YouTube?
It looks like it's on some offshoot thing, though. There's try this page.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
What is the title of this thing here?
It is. I just want to hear a little Vince from last night.
Yeah.
Sure, it's awesome.
Okay. YouTube.com.
Bum, 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 bum.
And then we'll go to look for Vince Neil Roxino.
Or Northfield Park, Northfield, Ohio.
Okay.
North USA.
Okay,
Come Vince Neil Northfield Park, and that should come up.
Vince Neil Northfield Park. Let's see. Vince Neil at the Hard Rock Live Northfield Park high definition one day ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look here, see what this is.
That ain't it.
That must just be a commercial.
There's a link in the description.
All right.
So you click that event.fullprime.
Yeah, I see it. Nah, I don't. You got to register to look at that.
Well, could we play it though?
No, it won't play. It's one of those.
Is it just the audience?
Yeah, that's just a.
Oh. There's got to be some video. Let's see. There has to be some, doesn't there?
I don't know.
The hell? What kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah, somebody's falling down on their job, man. Giving us free video and audio
that we're not getting.
Yeah.
How about this one? Is this it? No. What is this shit? No. Vince is actually selling the live audio of this.
I don't know that that's him doing that. There is a service out there where they send people out and they film like an entire show and then they sell it as a subscription.
Here, try this one. Do you want me to just tell you the link?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Let's see here.
I got one. Look up here. Try this one. Paste. We're organized.
Yeah, I know. Vince Neil Wildside on YouTube.
Yeah.
Vince Neil Wildside. Let's see. Wildside.
From June 24th of 2017. So 6 months ago, but he still looks terrible.
I know. Let's see here. Oh, this is, I got one here from the Route 66 Casino on the 21st, 27th.
December?
Let's see here. Nope, that's...
The one I sent you is definitely... I'm watching it.
6/23/17.
What?
6/23/17.
It's the next day, but same thing.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Man, I cannot get over that belly. That belly is just huge.
My man likes to eat.
He does.
Or really drink.
What's really funny, though, is that Dana Strum.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've talked to Dana before or hung out with him at all.
I've met Dana.
Yeah,
sure.
I've hung out with Dana probably 4 times.
Okay.
You know, he's like pushing 60.
Yeah.
And that guy keeps himself in shape.
Sure he does.
You know, he and he's done real well in the real estate market. Are you aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
He owns like a bunch of apartment complexes in like Las Vegas.
Right.
But he just goes out and plays because he enjoys it.
Well, hey, good on him.
But man, Vince, jeez.
Yeah, Vince definitely looks like he swallowed Nick, and Tommy.
Yeah, that's what happened to Motley.
Yeah, he ate him.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's pretty good there.
He is just breathing hard, and he's like sweating, and he's like, I mean, when did Vince Neil turn into Sam Kinison?
Apparently once the Motley touring stopped, because he looked like he was in decent shape then, didn't he?
Yeah, but what was that, two years ago already, right?
2 years ago, yeah. What did he put on, 100 pounds in 2 years?
Easily.
My goodness.
Wow. But that's what you got for your money at the Roxino last night.
Yeah, 11 whole songs.
It's funny to me that people that you know wanted you to hook them up.
Yeah, I got this. It's my one. I'll say his name. I don't care. It's my friend Dave, who I don't hear from that often, and he's my friend Scotty's brother.
Okay,
and he hits me up and he's like, dude, we haven't hung out in a while, blah, 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 blah. We got to do something. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, I'm going to be, blah, 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 you know, somewhere. And he was like, oh, I was hoping you were going to be at the Vince Neil show. And I just said, dude, there's no chance I'm going to be at the Vince Neil show. Vince is fucking lousy live. And he's like, oh, man, I was hoping maybe you could hook us up, hook me and my friend up.
Why?
Like,
they don't have any money?
Well, he has money. He just, dude, you know how that goes. Everybody wants to be on the guest list. You know, that's just the way it goes. Everybody wants to, even if they can afford to get a ticket, they want on the guest list anyway. I don't know why, but they think it's important. Well, just like everybody wants to meet the bands. You know, everybody wants to meet the band, and then, you know, and then they meet the band. It's like, all right, whatever. Do you know anybody that's ever met the band and has come out of it and been like, oh man, that was just the fucking best, man?
Our good friend Richard Hayden.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Our friend,
did you ever meet anybody normal that felt that way?
Well, our friend Kendall.
Yeah?
She was on Cloud 9, man.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'm just jaded.
You are.
No.
But we've hooked up people with different, you know, bands, and they got a chance to say hello or shake a hand or take a picture or whatever, and they just thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Right.
I mean, it does happen.
It does, but can you imagine that Vince Neil's the guy
look at our friend Jackal. We hooked him up with Priest.
Well, wasn't us, but
well, regardless, we were part of that whole build-up thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I you know, and I guess at some point I was probably that guy too for a little while. You know, I mean, there was a time that I was excited to beat bands, I guess, and then I turned 15.
What, you weren't excited to meet Big John guarding Bret Michaels?
No. Well, you saw my level of excitement. There was excitement, all right, as I screamed at him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, I was not excited to meet Big John or Bret Michaels. Face the wall, sir. Bret's coming. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Dick.
Well, I will tell you that, on the Poison tour in 2007, I think it was 2007, Dokken opened for Poison.
Right.
And, it was, who was on that tour? It was Dokken, I think.
Sebastian,
and I think Cinderella.
No, was it the one that we hung out on the bus together? Like me, you, and John. I had my kid, and John was giving my kid that water.
I'm trying to remember. That was
that tour?
Well, I went to Tinley Park, which is out of shithole Chicago. Right. And then I went to Indianapolis. And on both instances, we were in the dressing rooms. Right. Which is usually in a big hallway.
Right.
And Bret's security came down through the hallway and closed all the doors.
Right.
And had to clear the hallway because Bret was making his way to the stage.
You misspoke. It's His Highness Bret Michaels.
So they had to close all the doors to the dressing room and clear the entire hallway.
Dude, he can't be looked at. He can't be seen.
It's like, dude, you can't leave the door open on the dressing room. Are you shitting me?
You're going to take his chi from him, my friend. He's not going to be able to perform tonight if you take that that aura from him.
Right.
You're going to steal it, you bastard.
Yeah. And the same way with Vince. When Vince, before he got back with Motley, and he was, out on doing a solo stuff, just like what we just heard.
Yeah.
He was on the Rock Never Stops tour. Mm-hmm. And it was Rat, Tesla, Vince Neil, and I think it might have been Slaughter. Yeah, it was Slaughter. It was Slaughter, Rat, when Jizzy was still in it, Tesla, and Vince Neil.
Right.
It was at Nautica. And I was there, and I was backstage, between the stage, they have these trailers, for dressing rooms. Mm-hmm. Everyone had to leave the backstage area just so Vince could go from the trailer to the stage.
Right.
I mean, seriously, it was ridiculous.
Because they didn't want you to see him eating a sandwich on his way over.
Apparently not.
And they wanted pictures of that on TMZ.
And then when he got off the stage, same rules applied. Everyone had to clear out of the, the main area.
Right.
So Vince could walk from the stage to the trailer.
Well, dude, he's a very important person.
I know. It's ridiculous.
His Highness. Get the fuck out of here.
Everybody's got to leave. Everybody's got to leave.
Yeah, Vince is coming through.
Yeah.
Please. So stupid.
I know. Some of the prima donna bullshit was ridiculous.
No. Yeah, definitely bullshit.
So, anyway. Just dumb stuff.
Yeah, it is.